third and final in a series of 3 videos that demonstrate how the finhealth personal finance software can be used to assess financial health at various stages of life and careers. This video examines the situation of 2 fictional pre-retiree professional couples, Bruce and Bev Brown and Wayne and Wendy White. Both males are aged 58, with both females aged 56. The first video in the series examined 2 early career couples, male partners aged 38, with the second video analysing 2 mid-career professional couples, male partners aged 48. As with the previous videos, we'll demonstrate how the finhealth approach is able to identify weaknesses in financial health that may not be readily apparent either to the couple or to a casual observer. Hi, I'm John Lesky, recently retired personal financial advisor and founder of finhealth, a tool to guide you to your financial independence. Let's turn now to our pre-retiree professionals. The personal finance software inputs for each couple are provided on the screen now. First for the Whites and then the Browns. A close examination of the inputs would reveal that both male partners expect to retire in 7 years at their age 65, with the female partners retiring at age 60 in 4 years. Both couples' income expectations target growth asset allocations at 60% and inheritance estimates of $750,000 in 25 years are exactly the same. Both couples would also like to be able to give $250,000 to each of their 2 children in 10 and 12 years to assist them to purchase their first home. Their current net worth is also the same, at an apparently healthy $6.8 million, but the composition is very different. The table shown on the screen details their situations. The Whites have a greater commitment to lifestyle assets than the Browns, implying lower current net investment wealth of $2.3 million compared with $3.1 million for the Browns. While the Whites have significantly more investment assets, primarily due to holding 2 investment properties currently worth $2.7 million, they are largely debt finance. Wayne likes the tax benefits of a debt finance direct property strategy and, like many Australians, believes you can't go wrong with property. The Browns, on the other hand, have no debt and hold the majority of their investment wealth in the tax-effective superannuation environment. It's their intention to continue to direct as much of their future surplus cash flow to superannuation as they can. Both the Whites and Browns' superannuation investments are held in highly diversified funds, held roughly as 50% defensive, 50% growth investments. Spending assumptions also differ, as shown now. The Whites intend to commit more to lifestyle than the Browns, although the differences aren't huge relative to expectations regarding income and net worth. On the surface, both couples appear to be doing quite well financially. Without a more detailed consideration of the reasonableness of their expectations, it would be easy to assume that they're on track for retirement at Wayne's and Bruce's desired age 65. But a comparison of their finhealth personal finance software reports suggests that the Whites have some significant weaknesses to be addressed if they wish to give themselves a high chance of achieving financial independence. As in the previous video, we will focus our discussion on each couple's personal financial dashboard. The Whites' dashboard is shown now. The major issues that the dashboard reveal include the following. 1. An investment wealth ratio that is maximised at 48%, compared with the benchmark of 55% that's regarded as indicative of good financial health. It then slides to close to about 21% at Wayne's age 100, as net investment wealth is eroded to support a desired retirement lifestyle. It suggests that the Whites currently hold too much of net worth in lifestyle assets and, in the future, intend to commit too much to lifestyle to be consistent with sustainable, good financial health. They can't afford for investments to underperform the hard-coded assumptions in the modelling. 2. A retirement expenditure multiple that rises from a current 12.8 years to a maximum of about 22 at Wayne's age 66, below the benchmark of 25 years. A projected $750,000 inheritance at Wayne's age 83 enables the Whites to remain marginally below the benchmark for the rest of the projection period. A failure to receive this inheritance would severely jeopardise their lifestyle expectations. 3. The tax effectiveness ratio increases from a current 25.3% to 34.4% at Wayne's age 83, suggesting that there may be opportunities to make greater use of the tax-effective superannuation environment. However, as will be discussed next, unless the Whites sell at least one investment property, they will have no scope to direct any more funds to superannuation beyond the legislated minimums hard-coded in the software. 4. A current growth asset allocation ratio of 98.1%, significantly above the target growth asset allocation ratio of 60%. The software forces a reduction in the second year and achievement of the target by the proposed retirement date. But a closer look at what the 98.1% growth allocation means is revealing. The current high growth allocation ratio primarily reflects the fact that $2.7 million of investment assets is held as two investment properties, that is, two highly concentrated growth assets. Together with $400,000 of growth assets held in superannuation, total growth assets are $3.1 million. Yet projected lifetime investment wealth is only $3.16 million, comprising current net investment wealth of $2.3 million plus estimated future savings to retirement of $0.86 million. Unless the Whites are willing to immediately sell one or both apartments to rebalance their portfolio, they will carry a growth asset exposure much greater than their self-assessed attitude to investment risk. And in order to be debt-free at retirement, its projections indicate they will be forced to sell at least one apartment, since estimated future savings will be insufficient to repay current outstanding debt of $1 million. The Whites' possibly unwitting decision to hold a massive overexposure to growth assets totally restricts their investment flexibility. If property prices do well over the next 7 years to retirement, this overexposure will appear a smart move. But should they fall, they have no capacity to take advantage of lower prices of either property or any other growth assets, unless they wish to even further increase their overexposure to growth assets. All projected surplus funds are needed just to partially repay existing debt. Given their attitude to investment risk, such an outcome is likely to be both financially and emotionally devastating. Good financial health dictates that they act immediately to sharply reduce their current growth asset exposure. And 5, finally, a current investment diversification ratio of 22.9%, well below the benchmark of 75%. Again, the software forces the investment diversification ratio to the benchmark by retirement. In practice, however, achieving the benchmark would require the Whites to sell their investment properties and reinvest the proceeds into more diversified investments. The investment properties are large, concentrated holdings that add to investment risk without adding any compensating expected return, and as such aren't regarded as consistent with good financial health. So, both currently and prospectively, in terms of the finhealth framework, the White's financial health would be rated as mediocre at best. They need to quickly reassess the appropriateness of their lifestyle expectations and the way in which they hold their investment wealth. The personal financial dashboard for the Browns is now shown. An examination reveals that 1. The investment wealth ratio rises over time to a maximum of 58.2% at Bruce's age 66. It then continues to hover around the good financial health benchmark of 55% for the rest of the projection period. The ratio suggests the Browns expect to maintain a reasonable balance between lifestyle and investment wealth. 2. A retirement expenditure multiple that rises from a current low of 17.7 years to a maximum of 28.6 years at Bruce's age 66, above the 25-year benchmark. It remains above the declining benchmark for the remainder of the projection period, with a sharp jump upwards on receipt of the $750,000 inheritance at Bruce's age 83. It indicates that the Browns' expectations aren't unreasonable, with their projected investment wealth likely to be sufficient to fund their desired retirement lifestyle. 3. A tax effectiveness ratio that climbs steadily from a current 61.9% to a below benchmark level of 70.4% at Bruce's age 71. It suggests that the Browns could potentially increase the tax effectiveness of their projected investment holdings by exploring avenues to more fully utilise the superannuation environment. 4. A current growth asset allocation ratio of 40.5%, below their target of 60%. This reflects the expectation that a significant share of the projected investment wealth comprises expected future savings of about $1.1 million. With no borrowings to repay, all these future savings are available to be directed to investments. As these savings are realised, the software employs a hard-coded formula to gradually increase the growth asset allocation ratio to 60% by Bruce's age 65. In practice, an investment strategy that results in a more even transition to 60% may provide a better investment experience for the Browns. And finally, 5. A current investment diversification ratio of 87.1%, well above the usual benchmark of 75%, and hard-coded into the software, the investment diversification ratio is projected to reach 100% by Bruce's age 65. It can be concluded that the Browns are reducing investment risk by diversifying broadly. So, while the Browns aren't currently financially independent, their expectations appear consistent with achieving good financial health, or financial independence, by Bruce's age 65. Of course, things will change along the way, and they should regularly review their position. So, we've looked at two pre-retiree professional couples that, superficially, appear to be doing pretty well financially. But if financial independence is desired by both, the finhealth approach indicates that the Whites aren't so well positioned, and some changes in their expectations and investment practices should be urgently considered. The Browns' current expectations appear reasonable. The Whites' growth asset allocation and investment diversification ratios are particularly concerning. If they are lucky, and property prices maintain a solid upward trajectory to Wayne's age 65, they may conclude they made good decisions. But they are carrying currently a large and unnecessary risk that could severely affect their retirement plans, should they ever be forced to sell property to reduce large borrowings at an inopportune time. The personal financial dashboard, shown on the screen now, demonstrates how severely the White's financial projections deteriorate in the event there is an immediate 33% decline in the value of all growth assets. That is a serious but far from unusual scenario. The White's investment wealth is now projected to be totally exhausted by Wayne's aged 83, when receipt of the expected inheritance temporarily provides limited relief. They have limited time and flexibility to recover from an economic shock. On the other hand, the Browns' situation is considerably more resilient, as demonstrated by their personal financial dashboard, assuming an immediate 33% fall in growth assets. Their $1.1 million of expected future savings is available to purchase investment assets at, potentially, considerably lower prices, while the Whites are locked into using future savings to repay outstanding debt. Also, as with our early career accumulators and mid-career professionals from the previous videos, the comparison of the Whites and Browns again highlights why you can't base your financial behaviours on what other people that you think are a lot like you are doing. Their objectives and expectations may be very different to yours. Hopefully, you found this video of interest. I'd like to know what you think. Please provide any comments or questions below.